chalkboard, you don't have to get out your seat. You don't have to get up there and dust flying and dirtying your clothes up and wiping chalk and dropping erasers.
Your son's required to have a laptop, don't you?
Oh yeah.
You can't go into some of those science classes without a laptop. And everything's, whatever, like you said, whatever, even when the professor's drawing on the board, it's captured on their laptop. And this has been going on for a couple of years. You know, I work with some of the universities, and my children are, my boys are in engineering and things like that there. And they're also in the creation of some of the things that, all this high-tech stuff. It's changing so fast. And you think about the competition is worldwide. Allah has given that power, and you cannot restrict it back. You try to hold things back, you cannot do it. Mosqueers cannot be held back right now. You think, you try to contain, oh, this little building, they can blow this thing up tomorrow, and Mosqueers is still going out there. It's around the world in an instant notice. They cannot travel that fast. That came from vision that was set in motion 80 years ago or more. The portion being oppressed, they don't try to oppress your body, they try to oppress your mind. They try to close your eyes and keep you from seeing. They try to keep, and the distraction that the children have nowadays, self-medication, having the music in the ear all the time, no good. Now, I've had 6 children.
That's a form of self-medication too.
It is.
Just blocking out the world, putting those headphones on.
But it's a distraction. My youngest son, you know, I got geniuses for children, but my youngest son struggled. He couldn't hear for the first 9 years of his life, so it took all that time to catch up. But when he had the operation at 9 years old where he can start to hear, because we went through hearing aids and all this other good stuff, but finally they replaced the hearing bone, and he was able to hear. They want to say he was retarded. He was slow, but he talked very well. They couldn't figure it out where he lost his hearing. Was he born with it? You know, ear infection. We don't know. We just know he.
His name was Khalil. He wasn't even a Muslim. I had to tell his mother what his name meant. She just liked the name. He had an ear infection. Didn't you think Khalil was something wrong with him because of his speech? Yeah. But they went to the doctor, corrected his ear, and he speaks fine.
Yeah, yeah. But see, because you missed something in those formative years, then you're struggling. Like, he could spell, we said, no, he's going to stay in his regular class and his special ed class. The words that he had, most kids only have maybe 15 words. He had 35. The phonics and the regular class. But he could spell, but put him in a sentence, he still has trouble today. Now, he graduated from college in engineering, but packaging engineering, so alhamdulillah. But we worked with that there, and he bought into working and to work over the handicaps that he had. But that vision, being able to look down the road where you need to go. You ask Allah for guidance and direction. Now, I haven't left over from Imam working about Mosqueers, because that was set in motion. When the Imam said, I trust my son. The work that he's done, he's been very honest. I can trust him with everything. I'm going to turn this over to my son. That's Imam Muhammad's vision. Now, another story. Now, when I started working for the state of Michigan, my title was the utilization of marketing and forced products. And so I worked with a lot of the mills. And I call him a friend, and he had a little kind of rough, sawed up logs and stuff, and his yard was muddy and stuff. But he was able to, he was a shrewd businessman, but very, very smart. But you look at him and wouldn't think about it. And I'd send surveys out to him. He says, come see me. So I'd get in the car and go up and go see him. And we sit down and talk. Now this is a Caucasian man, you know, but we either we agree or disagree, but we always talk. And one time he says, boy, I hope my boys grow up. He had 3 boys. I hope they grow up. I said, what do you mean, what they grow up? He says, well, he says, my customers are my friends. And if they don't grow up and be able to run this thing, I'm not going to let them harm my customers. I will shut this place down. Now, I know the man, he would do that.
Right.
A couple years after he retired, and I was at a meeting, and I saw his boys. I said, boy, I'm glad you guys grew up. They didn't have an idea that he told me that. And I told him, he says,
He didn't mature,
huh?
Physically grow up, or in maturity?
Both.
Both.
Because he brought them in, and they're out there in the mud and things with the rest of the crew.
Oh,
They're just working, you know. Because in these small towns, it's your cousin, your uncle, your aunt. Everybody works in there, and you provide a living off the business. Business. Imam Mohammed was trying to get us to do businesses, support our businesses, family businesses. When my son lost his job year before last, I was hurt. I couldn't hire him. I couldn't bring him in to make anything. We're that way right now.
All of us.
All of us. The vision was from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, do something for self.
Even all these multi-millionaire basketball players and athletes, all these millions, the African-American people are still subject to the whims of the society. If they decide they're going to fire all black people, we starve to that. We'd be dying, dropping like flies.
Oh yeah, yeah. They say burn your neighborhood down. We have a nutritional desert. Why? The grocery stores don't want to stay there. They don't want, every time they turn around, somebody sticking somebody up, they're getting robbed, somebody stealing from them all the time. They want peace. The vision, now I live in a nice neighborhood. And on the Lifeline, they heard me say this before. We don't have trash on our street. Somebody drives through the neighborhood and throw out their McDonald's bag or throw a bottle down there. Now I've seen this with my eyes. Somebody within a few hours is out there with a broom and a
trash bag
thing, sweeping up the glass and taking it off. Paper, somebody's out there. They pick it up, keep the lawns nice. Now, by where the masjid is, they come out there, and I think it's not as bad now. It's improved, hasn't it? But we used to have baby kids around there, and I think they purposely threw trash in the yard.
They do. Unconscious. Because they could have threw it in the vacant lot down the street, but they threw it on your nice lawn.
Oh, not nice lawn.
And they're not conscious of it.
And just drop it down. Throw the bag out the window. Hey, wait a minute, you know? But one time it was so bad, I hired the kids. I says, these are little kids out there playing in the yard. I said, who wants to earn $1? I do. Okay, here's a bag. I said, and the older one says, it's your responsibility. When I tell them to come around, I'll give you $1, but I want the paper picked up. So I made friends with them. But as the neighborhood changes, there's change all about here. You can either be behind the change, or you can be the part of the change. It's your vision. So all those who are rejecting mosqueers, or they have a problem with Imam Worthy II, that's not their problem. They don't have a problem there. They have a problem with their own self. Whatever it is, they're lacking the vision. They say they're with Imam Worthy Muhammad, they're a liar.
Right, that's right.
You would go along with his vision.
Right.
What was his vision?
Right.
His vision was for us to propagate this religion for his people.
That's right.
He said he could have gone anywhere and been a very wealthy man.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But he loved his people.
Yes.
He had a vision for us. But then you had those who have no vision, who rejected it. But Allah has their, He gets retribution from them. Now those who don't want to join us, alhamdulillah. Now and I get this from the Quran, when Allah causes separation, He's not going to have you in turmoil all the time.
That's right.
And He causes them to go their own way. When they get back, they get with each other. Imam talked about, they chew their own. They're mad. Oh, where Deen? He's successful. Hey, be cool. Hey, that's on you. That's your problem.
Right.
But you got to have vision. All leaders, and I used to subscribe to a lot of these motivational talks and things like this here, and people are very successful, multi-millionaires, and all those who grow, and those who studied, those who are successful. What do they have? A vision, or visions. They have a plan. Allah tells us to plan and work our plan. Is it set in stone? No, there's always something that's going to come about and it's going to change it. But you got to have a plan. You got to have a goal. Allah tells us to have a set of goals. Where are you going to go? Like I said, I'm out in the wilderness. My goal is to get me an animal. It doesn't have to have big horns. I don't want to carry them big horns. I can't eat them anyway. I'm reading signs. Signs along the way. I think somebody mentioned one of the talks there, one of the Imams is a hunter, and he says, look, follow the tracks. Sometimes you don't see tracks, but there are signs. You got to know how to read them. Some are very obvious, and some are very concealed. But you got to read them. You got to be aware of your senses. You use all your senses. Your hearing, your eyes, your nose, your taste. You're tasting the air. You don't have, what is it, 4 or 5 tastes that you have on your tongue? The rest is olfactory.
That's right.
So Allah is merciful. Very merciful. So, do I get distraught? All the stuff that's going on out in the world right now, Allah has described in the Quran the people. Those are the ones who reject Allah. The evildoers. They're sitting around there plotting. Oh, they plot. I think Imam talked about the plotters.
All the time. That's what they do.
But Allah is the best
The plan.
of planners.
My favorite scripture.
They cannot hurt you. Boy, they can sure irritate the hell out of you.
They can bug you like a mosquito.
Yes. We were talking about, my older brother and I we talked about, the old houses. Our house was built in 18 something, and of course the mosquitoes get in the summer, and they wait till you get to sleep, and they try to get in your ear, and then you slap yourself. Oh, that wasn't too smart. You done knocked the stew out of yourself. You slap your face so hard. Trying to get this little pesky mosquito. And he comes back.
Yeah, comes right back.
And you say, oh man, I can't sleep like this. So you turn the light on and you go hunting. You don't kill this sucker. Excuse my rogue language, I'm sorry.
Mosquitoes, that's the only thing. I watched my father, a mosquito was on his arm. The mosquito was taking care of business. My father kind of gently lifted him, got him up off his arm, and I don't know if he walked somewhere, but he walked to the doors because our kitchen was real small, 87th Street. He shooed that mosquito out, and I said, that's unbelievable.
But the one thing about an insect bite or mosquitoes, if you squash them, that puts that venom right back into the skin.
I still feel guilty when I slap a mosquito.
But your father though, he avoided getting the irritation. When he did like that, that they suck that venom back up in there. They keep it from coagulating. It's an anticoagulant that they shoot into your arm, and you gentle get them pull it back out. Well, they have a chance to pull that back out, and you don't have as much
Wash it
irritation.
with soap.
Yeah.
He told me washing it with soap helps. And I do that.
So there's some wisdom there. You don't have to kill everything. But some of us just. I'm gonna get that.
Because they love me. I think it's O something. The blood type is a certain blood type that I have. And my cousin was telling me yesterday at Iftar. She said if you have O something blood type, and I
O positive.
O positive. And I asked my wife. I said, "I'm O positive." She said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So and Halima said, "Yeah." She said they eat her up no matter what.
Wow.
But everything bite me. Flies.
Oh.
Flies bug me almost as much as mosquitoes. Because I wear shorts and
Yeah.
stuff. And they bite me, it hurt.
Yeah. So do not be in despair. When Allah says we do not be despair, we don't have to wring our hands and stuff like this here. When we get up, we do good. Our intentions are to do good. Our intentions are to take care of business. Fulfill our responsibilities. As my friend, Hodge friend says, responsible. You're able to respond, able to take care of your responsibilities. This is Allah. We fulfill our duties to Allah. He rewards us with abundance. No good deed goes unrewarded. The reward is multiplied. Some say 10, some say 70, some say 700, like the ear of corn. But you're planting seeds. Now, let's get to the point of the vision. Taking care of business. That when you or your family responsibilities run a difficulty, how do you take care of business? You can see what's happening. I want to share, I'm not going to share the whole story, but my two oldest children, my oldest is my daughter, and she's a BSRN with all the pedigrees and all this stuff behind it. And she ran into some difficulty at where they had a position open for assistant head nurse. And the prejudice and the discrimination that they did, they brought a Caucasian male in, 2-year degree, 2 years experience, and said he's better. Of course, then they started denigrating her. Oh, you're mad black woman, you're argumentative and stuff like this. And I'm thinking, oh my land, I don't have to fly out there. She lives out west, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to fly out there to take him there, hurt my baby. It's hard on the old man, But then, about the same time, my son had his own business, and he was going to, in negotiation to sell the business, in that software, electronic, IT stuff. The biggest thing is get somebody to buy your company. And he had developed a video compression chip that we don't see it, but he can tell when he watches TV and stuff like that there. But his ex-partner now, in the corporation, a big corporation, corporate espionage is huge.
Yes, yes.
They will steal, they will try to keep, now you got this one little black man, sole proprietor, and they try to steal it. His partner was stealing codes. Now he designed all this stuff here, and I don't know what the promise was, but anyway, it's been a 3-year court battle. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawyer fees. When we first get started, I get the call, Dad, I know something's up. And I said, okay, tell me what's going on. Okay, all right, so I understand. Calm down. You don't have to go after that person. That person eventually will destroy himself or herself. You clear the way. In this book, guidance, sure without doubt.
Yes, humbly, Lord. Humbly.
And I look back at my career, because all my career I never worked with another African American. It's all been Caucasian. And business people and higher ups and PhDs and all this other good stuff. Go to the end after I retired, and I went to some of the trade shows and stuff, and the guy says, "You're our friend." I said, "Oh, really? We do battle." But he says, "Well, we know if we need the straight, we can call you, and you always give us a straight shot." I'm always very, very honest with them. I knew that it would tick some of them off to no end, but they appreciated that. That was the best reward you'd ever have. Guidance, sure, without doubt. What guided me through all that was my faith in Allah. He was my protector. He was my only protector. And I didn't know much about Islam, period. I'm glad Allah, and realize that Allah is always there with me. Sometimes we go through life and we say, "Boy, I lived through that." It's Allah that was your protector. He may reveal to you immediately, or maybe years down the road, that this is what I wanted you to do. I tell the story, I was doing research, and I had to go up into the mountains of Colorado there, and it's in my higher elevation. And, they have all these ski areas. And I got to a Y in the road. Now, you know about the Y in the road. I needed to go left. And higher up, I was getting more snow. This is about June, and it's still snow. Those paths are still impassable because of all the snow. Now, it had to be April, because it's still skiing. So I missed my turn, and I kept going. And there's a little bitty town up high in the mountains there, and I saw these two brothers. "What are you doing out here? Don't you know you freeze to death out here?" Then he started telling me the story. He says, "Well, we hitchhiked, and we got up in Steamboat Springs, which is a popular ski area. So we have a job up there if we can get there." He says, "But I was hitchhiking, and the guy got to this town and dropped us off out of nowhere." I said, "You never take a ride from one place," and I used to hitchhike. I said, "You never get let off in the middle of the freeway nowhere, because nobody stops." Now I'm chewing them out. They said, "Well, Allah, you're our angel." They asked the sheriff, could they stay in jail that night so they wouldn't freeze to death. And he let them stay in jail. He got early the next morning, because I was up there early, shortly after daybreak, and picked them up. I said, "Well, okay, well, you're kind of out of my way, and this is the government vehicle, and I can't really do a whole lot of," but I said, "I'm going to get you to the next town where you do not take a ride, because there's a whole lot of miles between there and Steamboat Spring, but you make sure you get a ride to there, but at least you'll be in a safe place." So Allah guides you, and that whisper in your ear, not the whisper, but the nudge, Allah tells you to do something, do it. Don't delay doing it. Do it now. And as we get older, we can turn around and just go around the corner and forget what we're doing, where we're going. So do it when Allah tells you to do it. Don't rationale that, "Well, I'm going to miss out on something." Do it. So we know Allah is Akbar, and Allah gives vision. He's in control of all vision. He gives it to whom He wants. He gave Imam Mohammed vision for Mosqueers. So those who go against Mosqueers are going against Imam Muhammad. Any other name that comes up in there, they're lying. It's His vision. He told us many, many times where He wanted this to be. It goes off into the future. We have no idea how far it's going to go in the future. It's only up to Allah. But this Quran, the message, guidance, sure, without doubt. Back to my children. My daughter wanted her case. I said, you tell them what you want. Quit talking to people. Make them put it in writing. And that leads me to the thing. A lot of our children right now are very successful. Doing great things. Right, this far, way above me. But that sense of how to take care of business and protect them. Allah's your protector. Now, none of them are Muslim. Allah's your protector. That is the best dawah to my own family. You know where I'm coming from. Listen, this is what Dad does. Imam Mohammed, what did he do? The Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace and mercy be upon him. That was his guide. What did, people who say things, Imam Muhammad, you have no idea what you're talking about. Why are you listening to anybody that says open their mouth like that? He only guided us to the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet, the Uswa, they say, to do which is right, to be progressive, to be able to take care of our families, take care of our children, our children's children, to set things up. Did he not set things up? Can they harm it? They can't contain it. They can't contain Allah's vision. So when somebody comes up there and all systems of knowledge, we don't know where it's going to come from. For our children, there's an evil force. Now, for those whose parents are involved, children are protected. Dad, you get the call, don't you? Dad?
They little man.
Well, I mean, that's all right. But they're going to get some things that's going to come up against
I
them.
hope they call me.
That's the point. You hope that they call you.
Right.
Do not go out there and get into something
Right.
and don't call.
Right.
Get a little information. Get some assistance. You don't have to do exactly as I tell you, but get some knowledge here on how to handle
His
it.
brother's an engineer, and I was so upset when he didn't win a project that they did. First project, when he started school, I helped him with, and I think he got either the highest score or the second highest score. The next one, they didn't do so well. I was so mad at him. I said, don't you know your best resource is your dad? I said, this is what I love to do. What y'all doing in school, that's fun.
Yeah.
And I said, all you have to do is come to me. So they were building trebuchets. I got them a trebuchet that stand about this high, and they shoot further than the big one that they build at school. Throw that ball way out.
Yeah. So that you do pray that your children will call you. Like I said, with my father, we really didn't understand because everybody thought he was real hard. He was
up under pressure.
The old black men, I'm sorry to say it that way, they didn't have time. They worked so hard. They had to fight going to work and fight coming home. They had to do everything just to try to put food on it. Now, they did not abandon their families. They did not use no excuse. They went out and collected my neighbor, Reverend Green, from Black Lake, Mississippi. And we would get to talking, and he told me things that they would do down in sharecropping. I said, Reverend, I'm mad. And I ain't even part of this, they're born in 1913, 1920. In that time, Jim Crow was really bad, and you had to, in Mississippi, you had to get permission to go from one job to the other, from sharecropping to go to work in the sawmill. Sawmill paid a little bit more, maybe a nickel more. They only made a quarter. He said he always had a little garden to try to make some money and raise a few pigs to make a little extra money. He had to get permission. You had to get permission for the doctor to see you or for you to go see the doctor. This was in the early part of the last century. You talk oppression. So, about ready, about out of time, really. So, being able to see that vision for the people, men that come out in the the women that come out of that oppression to see a better day, you know they had to be sincere in the belief in Allah. Whatever they had, you know, good Christian, good strong ones there, but then he'd also tell you about the ones who were playing around, you know, jumping and scratching the head. They would go tell the master on him. His name was Henry Green. Oh, you know, Henry. And they go tattle.